directive to GOP givers. We're not bluffing. This is a real serious threat. I mean, I know you guys don't want to give it to him, but you got to give it to him. It's actually really important. You need to give it to him. This is John Cornyn, or I don't even care. The number 2 Republican said in an interview, if Ted does his job and we do ours, I think we'll be fine. But if we have donors sitting on the silence thinking that, well, this isn't at all serious, I don't need to be concerned, then that's a problem. Yeah. Give it till it hurts, you guys. Just pour all that money into Ted Cruz, and we will keep reporting about it, because it'll show how awful and corrupt he is. All right, so yeah. In Wisconsin, meanwhile, school superintendent Tony Evers has taken a slight lead over Wisconsin's Bitmoji-loving governor. The strain is clearly starting to take a toll on Walker, with Politico documenting him snapping at a reporter on campaign trail. Yeah. So here's what he said. While he was beginning to move away from a press scrum, taking no further questions, but when asked about the people of Wisconsin, whether they could trust he was committed to a full term as governor given his 2016 presidential run, he stopped dead in his tracks. Tony Evers ran for superintendent for a 4-year term, and a year after, he's running for governor. You asked him the same question. Walker asked a reporter, pointing at the reporter's voice recorder, and then pressing, that's on the record, right? You're going to ask him the same question? Politico later asked Evers' campaign. The answer was yes. So, yeah, it's literally all you need to say. And Walker getting spicy, though. He pledged to stick around for at least 4 more years if elected, according to the site. The governor wants you to know he has plenty of other options after face-planting magnificently during the crowded 2016 GOP primary. A lot of people said they could easily have done something else. Could have joined the cabinet, could have joined the public sector, but instead, still committing to being governor. That's amazing. We'll see how it turns out on election day, you guys. We will see. All right, now we get to a little bit more disturbing, and by the way, reporting on that was primary from Splinter there. As now we get to the best story of the day. No, just kidding. It's the worst. The Department of Homeland Security transferred $10 million from FEMA to ICE this summer for a detention center, for detention centers along the border, according to a report on Rachel Maddow. Interesting. On Tuesday, Maddow spoke probably the most useful thing she has done in about, 3 years, I would say. But yeah, on Tuesday, Maddow spoke with U.S. Senator Jeff Merkley, who sits on the Senate Committee on Appropriations. Merkley provided Maddow with a document showing the Trump administration is planning to make the budget transfer this summer, just as hurricane season is starting, because the general starts June 1st. The administration is working hard to find funds for additional detention camps. Yeah, Merkley said. So $10 million comes out of FEMA when we're facing hurricane season. Knowing what happened last year, they're putting in current hurricane. I mean, I bet Trump's like, oh yeah, they're never as bad 2 years in a row. Oh my gosh, he's a, and there's 3 other storms now, just brewing. There's 3 other storms now just brewing, and $10 million in funds are now sitting with ICE detaining little immigrant kids. That's pretty much what we're doing. So, yeah. In 2017, for the first time in over a decade, the United States was hit with 4 devastating hurricanes: Irma, Harvey, Nate, and Maria. Nearly 3,000 people in Puerto Rico died as a result of the latter, thanks to launch to a slew of catastrophic bureaucratic problems and issues and huge mistakes on FEMA's part. Not that Trump will own up to it. According to the New York Times, pretty much this is FEMA. They literally mismanaged the Puerto Rico situation so bad. 3,000 people died. 3,000 people died. They need literally all the help they can get. And taking $10 million away from an already cut budget is not going to do a lot. That's for sure. The DHS confirmed to Maddow that the budget transfer did in fact happen, though they did insist no funds came from the disaster response and recovery coffers. Merkley disputed the claim, citing a chart in the budget showing where the transfer money came from. It says response and recovery right on it. He said, I would dispute the statement that has no bearing on addressing the challenges from hurricanes, because it really clearly says. And keep in mind, FEMA's annual budget is about $17 billion, with $10 billion allotted to disaster relief. So $10 million isn't quite a hefty chunk of change as it sounds, but $10 million for baby cages, deportation camps, and internment camps. Deportations and internment camps, over $10 million for food with for folks with flooded homes. Seems like a slight misuse of funds. Maybe, yeah. I don't know. It's all up to you. All right, guys. We now are you ready, ladies and gentlemen, to get some real political analysis coming your way? Real political analysis coming your way. And we're gonna get that next. I'm just gonna give you a preview. We're gonna get that next because it's gonna be some good stuff coming for some real political analysis that I like to hear. So yeah, So pretty much what's happening with this whole this whole thing on FEMA is just like, I don't know how you can it really just shows you where the administration's focus is, in my opinion, because it's like, just before we go to the next, like, it's just like, we need to feel and we need to get this right. Like, there's no doubt about this. And the fact that, again, credit to Rachel Maddow for actually doing this and actually talking about this in some way, shape, or form, instead of, like, taking a break from Russia, but transferring $10 million from FEMA to ICE for detention centers. Like, we need all the money. Like, FEMA needs all the help they can get, and taking $10 million away is not okay. And if there was a hurricane every other week, like, FEMA would practically, like, completely unfunded, and it's already faced some pretty severe cuts. So, like, the fact that they are, like, even questioning this is a very disturbing situation, and the fact that, like, they could come back to this in a big way. So yeah, with Irma, Nate, Harvey, it's just not good stuff. All right, so yeah, here's what we got now. We are now going to move on to what I promised you, which is great and incredible political analysis here. An announcement that has shocked and rocked New York State politics. Score: Amy Schumer has rescinded her endorsement of Cynthia Nixon. We're going to get to the whole thing in Instagram post, but first, no, she's going to lose. I mean, she's down like 40 points in the polls, but still. I wanted to vote Nixon, but sadly, I don't believe she would know what the heck to do. She needs to be able to pressure the state legislature and stuff. I don't believe she has enough connections upstate. No, I don't think she talks like that. She doesn't have enough connections upstate. I don't know. But still, it's actually, like, very, very disturbing. Okay. Yeah, according to New York Post, Schumer initially donated $10,000 to Nixon campaign, but instead, during the New York primary election on Thursday, Schumer will be voting for this guy, Andrew Cuomo. Yeah, the big guy. So yeah, and by the way, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, and when in the Splinter article about this story, they put a hyperlink on this. And it says New York Governor Andrew Cuomo's administration appears to have offered the contractor working on the Mario M. Cuomo Bridge incentives to finish the bridge before the New York Democratic primary, according to documents first reported by the New York Times. So the news comes just days after a ribbon-cutting ceremony where Cuomo held a ribbon-cutting ceremony where he drove across the new section of the bridge in a 1932 Packard formerly owned by FDR. Pretty cool stuff. But they rushed for the bridge, and apparently the bridge is not very good. It's not very good at all, and it's certainly a little bit scratchy. That's for sure. It's not looking good. So yeah, that's the guy this is a good guy who Schumer's supporting. Andrew isn't my fave dude, but he's a good gov. And yeah, we're gonna get this full clip, but I gotta get into my Amy Schumer character first. Thursday, we vote. Everyone. It's not cute to not vote anymore. I'll tell you who I'm voting for, honestly. For Gov, Cuomo. Reason? Andrew isn't my favorite dude, but he's a good gov. I wanted to vote for Nixon, but sadly, I don't believe she would know what the heck to do. She needs to be able to pressure the state legislature and stuff, but I don't believe she has enough connections upstate. Like, you don't need pressuring to have good connection. You just need to have the popular support of policy and actually, like, be able to get things done. And, like, Amy Schumer, she has, like, a long history of, saying, like, dumb political stuff, which is very, very, very disturbing, just to say the least. And she said things like, Bernie Sanders supporters who don't support anyone who doesn't support Hillary Clinton from the left is so uninformed. Like, they just don't know what they're talking about. And that, like, made me want to, like, smack my hand in my head. Also, she did that interview with, like, BBC. Like, people just don't like her anymore, especially when she talks about politics. And, like, I was like, I don't like Amy Schumer, but, like, this kind of sealed the deal for me. Like, she's telling this. I mean, I guess she's kind of doing a good thing in her effort to, like, get out the vote and try and, like, tell more people about, like, what's going on and that they should vote. And by the way, you can only vote if you're a registered Democrat, which also kind of sucks. But the thing is, but the thing is, there still is more good stuff to come. But still, she really just doesn't understand politics. And please, like, you don't need connections in upstate. Like, that's why people like her, because she doesn't have connections. She's gonna, like, actually change things in Albany. Like, you don't want connections in Albany. You want people who are going to be able to tear down Albany and stop. It's viewed as one of the most corrupt state capitals. Probably is one of the most corrupt state capitals in the country. Like, right up there with, like, Tallahassee. Like, it's not good. Though. So, like, there's been a bunch of, like, corruption issues there. There's been a bunch of, like, even sexual abuse charges there. It's not the best stuff. So, like, you don't want her anywhere around this, just to say the least. Schumer did endorse Zephyr Teachout, though, as we continue. She says we continue with her Instagram post here. She says she needs to be able to pressure the state legislature and stuff, but I don't believe she has enough connections upstate. But I love her, and I think anyone inclined voting Nixon is cool. Attorney, here she says, because she uses, like, no punctuation, so it's kind of hard. She's like, but I love her and think if anyone is inclined, voting Nixon is cool. Right, that doesn't make any sense. Attorney General, I'm voting at Zephyr Teachout. She's the most qualified, and she will take on Trump the best. I'm also proudly voting for Jumaane Williams. That's what we need. Zephyr Teachout. She's going with Zephyr Teachout. Thank you. Yeah, she did. By the way, she endorsed Teachout over Tish James for Attorney General, even though the former had vowed to fight Cuomo on corruption, while the latter embraced him, per the New York Times. It's unclear what other celebrities who have donated Nixon's campaign will vote for now that Schumer's flipped. In July, Time reported that Nixon had received money from a slew of local stars, including Rosie O'Donnell, Alec Baldwin, Mary Louise Parker, and Taylor Schilling. No word on where they or their pets stand currently, because the pictures she posted when she talked about it on Instagram was, like, her, like, inhumanely sized cat, super small cat, and her super small dog, wearing, like, a raincoat or something. Yeah. By the way, actually, fun fact, Chuck Schumer is Amy Schumer's uncle. Chuck Schumer is Amy Schumer's first cousin, according to this article here, which is fun. But anyway, that is what we got there. Some pretty disturbing stuff, just to say the least. All right, so from Amy, well, it's just disturbing to me whenever Amy Schumer talks politics, because, I mean, there are people like oh my gosh, Amy Schumer is going to vote for Cuomo. Maybe that means I should. But no, like, don't take anything Amy Schumer says about politics seriously. The point is, like, she has no political experience. It's just, she just doesn't sound very smart or use punctuation. It makes it hard for me to read when she's talking about politics. All right. Yeah. So, today is the anniversary of 9/11. That was yesterday. Democrats fear that Russia is already working to subvert the upcoming election. Today's political cartoon by CQ Roll called cartoonist R.J. Masson was really quite disturbing. I'll describe for you. There are two voting booths. You already see where this is going to go, right? This is a Democratic dude. He's been watching a little bit too much Rachel Maddow, and on 9/11, he's posting this. It's two voting booths standing up next to each other, like the Twin Towers, and a little plane painted in the white, blue, and red of Russia, flying in the direction of the voting booths. Yeah. First, you can tell the towers and the stands